Welcome back to Reclaiming Your Masculinity. My name is Ray, and let's begin with this video. Grab your aspirin, grab your painkillers, because you're about to have a massive headache. Today, I'm going to talk about a Reddit post of a guy that was, let's say, not even babysitting, but watching occasionally, once in a while, for someone's child. And then she did the unthinkable. Let's begin. I, 27 male, used to live in a bad apartment building. I had a neighbor right next to me called Sarah, approximately 24 years old, who had a 6-year-old son, Mark. I had lived there for 3 years and moved out about 2 months ago. My grandfather passed away and left most of his money possessions to me and my sisters. It wasn't much after taxes, but I was able to use it as a deposit on an apartment. Sarah and her son moved in about 4 or 5 months after I did, and although she didn't talk about it, I got the feeling that her ex hadn't been the greatest. Police would come around occasionally to check if she was okay. The kid was scared stiff of loud noises and yelling, etc. I work from home, a data analyst, so I was around a lot. Mark used to go to a preschool while she worked. Then after he started school, he was supposed to go to an after-school child minding thing. Sarah works 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. as a nurse aide. Problem is that in March of last year, after school thing closed, let me rephrase that. Problem is that back in March of last year, his school wow, I have problems reading, excuse me. Problem is that back in March of last year, his after school thing closed. Then a couple of months later, his school shifted all their learning online, while his mommy only got busier because of the V. I kept seeing him playing outside, by the road, or hanging off the balcony, and was a bit worried for his safety, so I started offering him hot chocolate and keeping an eye on him. About a week later, Sarah came by and offered me $20. She was very apologetic and explained that her parents disowned her and she couldn't afford a full-time nanny for him, but also couldn't afford to quit her job to keep an eye on him, which was basically her only option. My older sister is a nurse, and I seen her looking shattered with bruises on her face from her marks, so I felt really bad for them and offered to keep an eye on Mark while she worked, since I was home anyway and he's a cool kid. Long story short, I told Sarah in October I was moving out and she was distraught about what she'd do with Mark. School, childcare, still hadn't reopened here yet. I offered her to drop him off at my new place while she was working at a temporary solution during the V. This had been working for the last couple of months until I received a letter from a lawyer basically informing me that Sarah was filing for child support against me, as I had taken on a paternal figure in Mark's life. Wow. Like really wow. Somebody does a good thing for you and this is how you pay them. I immediately called Sarah and told her to come and get Mark. We had a massive fight because basically she thinks I can afford it, so why shouldn't I pay it? Wow, can you imagine that logic used against her? Well, since I'm basically taking care of Mark, you're basically my wife, so I'm able to do whatever I want with you because we are partners right now. So go and do everything I want because now I'm your husband, for some reason. Nice logic there. Can you imagine you can use it elsewhere? Wow. So, after she picked him up, I blocked her number and contacted a lawyer who to me that I would probably be who to me. I think he mentioned who told me that I would probably be fine as I'm not his dad and never offered to take care of him in a financial way. Sarah has been in touch with my sisters who think that I'm doing the right thing, but not paying, but basically being a D by refusing to look after Mark anymore. Now his sisters are a bunch of idiots. To tell him that he's a Richard for not looking after Mark anymore. Like, what kind of logic does that make? Make that make sense. Now, I will say that this dude's sisters have an IQ of, let's say, below average, far below average, because you couldn't make that conclusion without having a very low IQ. This is the dumbest comment I've ever seen, but whatever. Let me continue. I feel like garbage since he's probably back to being stuck in those garbage apartment block again, but I also don't want to risk a court case. AETA, I don't know what that stands for refusing to look after him while she works. Tiny update, thank you for all the lovely messages. I can't see some of them because of a Reddit error keeps popping up, but I'm trying to read them all. I've said it a few times in a comment, but we'll put it here too. After what has happened, I have contacted child services. I haven't had an update from them, but will post here if I hear anything. Look at how people are so horrible right now that they, if you just promise or want to help a bit out, making someone's life a bit easier, and this is how they repay you. This is why I say always get to know someone. Here is the thing. Okay? Here is how you know that she is responsible for this. I refuse to believe that her ex hasn't been the greatest. I think the ex may be pushed into such a corner that he's responding in a very uncomfortable manner, I must say. Because if the police had to come around to occasionally check she was okay, that means she has been lying to the police of what her ex has been doing. Because if, suppose this was all true and she was a victim, why the hell is she trying to make this guy a victim? I mean, yeah, we have a massive fight because basically she thinks I can afford it, so why not? Why shouldn't I pay it? Like, how does that make even sense? I can't even fathom what she has done to her ex. This sounds like a very manipulative, narcissistic female who just want to use, like, this is manipulation at its finest. To use the authorities to benefit from someone's kindness. And narcissists always look for vulnerable people. However, what she did not know is this guy is not vulnerable at all. He immediately he just immediately quit. And rightfully so. Now let me check out the comments. NTA. I don't know what that stands for. I really need to check out Reddit a lot more often. I'm just checking out to see if there are some recent, topics for you guys to talk about male issues and also talk about female issues later on, because I also want to highlight those. Not in a feminist way, because I am anti-feminist, so don't worry about that. However, what's fair is fair. There are females who have issues as well, and we need to address them, just like male issues. But male issues will be talked a lot more in my on my channel, because there aren't many platforms, especially not on TV, that talk about male issues. There are some YouTube channels, but they're basically revolved around other kind of stuff and stuff that maybe contradict one thing and another. So I want to highlight important things, talk about personality disorders, etc. But here, you were being nice and Sarah decided to take more advantage of you than she already was. The audacity of this I can't even call that lady. A lady is a good woman. She has integrity, which means she has good manners and is treating people right. This female, this abomination, has no integrity. I seriously cannot believe it. My jaw dropped reading this. So did mine. Like, so did mine. Like, how dare you? What the hell is wrong with you? I'm sorry you and Mark are dealing with this. Now, the kid here is innocent. But even his sisters made my jaw drop. You're being a Richard, because Richard is the replacement word for Dick. Anyways, for not keeping an eye on Mark anymore. Like, since when is he obligated to do that? Where is there any contract? Is it his child? So because now there are consequences that are unfair against him, all of a sudden he's a Richard for not wanting to do it anymore. Wow, nice logic. His sisters must be as worse as she is. Although they say, well, you're good for not paying. Like, you cannot see the whole picture. Like, wow, okay. My reaction exactly shocked. He's being a good guy and the poor kid has to suffer and lose his buddy because his mom is greedy. Sad. Like, exactly this. And even his sisters. It's like they say, no good deeds go unpunished. I cannot fathom how she thought was going to do anything but blow up in her face. It's not a shock her parents disowned her for whatever reason they did. It's just sad that the kid has to suffer as fallout to his mom's screwed up actions. My point exactly. Like, now I understand more things. I don't think that his ex, her ex, is the one causing all this problem. I think she moved out because she caused a problem, way too many problems, in their relationship. Caused her ex to go mad, nuts maybe. Because of her narcissistic and vindictive actions. I would put this in the case of vindictive narcissism. Vindictive narcissism are those who want to hurt others. Who want to abuse others. They see, just like basically any narcissist, people as puppets. As usable objects. And her parents disowned her, so yeah, you can get narcissism not even throughout your childhood, but also throughout serious issues. Now, of course, parents can be co-responsible for that, for not giving the right kind of care or anything to catch, to make sure that the daughter is healed or fine or whatsoever. However, there are moments where you can say, yeah, you can, point your finger to the parent, but eventually, if this is a case that wasn't developed in a childhood but way later on, then yeah, that's on the person itself. I've seen people who were just, kind of okay, having just decent parents, but eventually turned out to be incredibly evil because of the negative influence that they absorbed and, of course, throughout their traumas and the environment they've been living in afterward. And the last comment here, no matter the reason her parents disowned her, the kid's the victim. This guy took time out of his day to make sure the child is okay and isn't going to die or hurt or to get hurt. And she accepted his generosity. And when that wasn't enough, she thought she was probably saving a good amount of money by not paying. That wasn't good enough, so now she wants more money. That's even more sickening. He did a nice thing. I need to use some punctuations. He did a nice thing for a struggling neighbor. She tried to make him pay for his kindness. That's messed up. And OP is definitely, not. Oh, I see. NTA, not an A. Exactly. Oh, I see now. I feel sorry for the kid and for the OP. Exactly. My point exactly. So, again, I'm gonna stress this as much as possible, guys. Get to know people. Especially nowadays, you have to get to know people. You don't know who you're dealing with. Take your time. Do not offer your help directly if somebody is maybe shady. If you see somebody has a lot of issues, first see what and why. Take a bit of your time, alright? And especially do not offer these things, especially in countries where they can use these things against you, where the law is against you. Alright? Make sure you get to know people, because you may dodge a bullet. And if you're lucky, the bullet dodges you. But here, this guy, he was doing a good thing, and she wanted to abuse it. She wanted him to pay for a kid that's not even his, because, I mean, he can afford it. Now make that make sense. And let's use that logic in other cases. Let's see if that makes sense as well. Let's reverse the roles and use that kind of logic. Yes, let's use things against her. Let's see if she likes a taste of her own medicine, which she will eventually get. I mean, she didn't have a problem with her ex and her parents for no reason. And she's already facing consequences, and more is about to come, without a shadow of a doubt, if I see the way she treats people. No integrity. Once again, guys, get to know people. The first important quality a person must have is integrity. The second one is accountability. The third one is empathy. Of course, empathy and integrity goes hand in hand, but some people can be can have integrity, but still have no empathy at the bad time of moment or whatever. Because people can act. Some people with MPD can act like that and then eventually drop you like a hot potato, show no empathy, so on and so forth. And last but not least, self-reflection. Instead of saying, yeah, OP, listen, I know I've made a mistake, I'm sorry, I'm gonna end this, yeah, I was very desperate, blah, blah, blah. I would say, okay, yeah, she tried to make a big mistake, but she eventually, woke up or whatever. But no self-reflection. No, I just want to hurt you. Just accept it. I mean, you can afford it. That's just like me going to a rich guy and say, hey, I'm going to sue you for $1 million. Why? Dude, you got money. I mean, you can give it to me. I mean, you're rich. Nice logic. Yeah, let me just do that. Wow. Of course I wouldn't, but you get my point. So that's it for today's video. I hope you're as shocked as I am, or let's say less shocked than I am. But you probably are, because many of you guys have seen people like this, and especially react like this. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I'm going to make another video very soon and upload it frequently throughout the week. Maybe do, I don't know if I can, 2 videos a week if possible. If not, I'll just post one video per day this whole week, and in 2 weeks I'll try to uppen the frequency and yeah, increase more videos. So thank you for listening to me, and see you in the next video. Have a good night.